Okay, so this is gonna, obviously, there's the start of it, be a very low quality video, of course, because it's from me. Anyway, this is a Dell power supply out of a optiplex. This is model, well, you may never know, LP305P-00. This is a 305 watt power supply. Let's see, does it say who made it? Does not. I know Best Tech made some of them and High Pro made some of them. Either way, they were not that great. Didn't appear, because they're always breaking. Anyway, this one here, I've removed the screws that hold the lid on, and I'm going to pop the cover off. I bought two, or originally I was showing up to buy from this guy on Craigslist. You know how wonderful stuff on Craigslist is. Two Dell Optiplex, I believe it was. One was a GX520 and one was a 280. I don't know. Anyway, they were both apparently working. One had a Pentium D and the other one had a Pentium 4. Well, I ended up buying both of them, but I was going to pay $20 for the two that worked. That was $10 a piece, and they supposedly worked. Well, when I show up, the guy says, oh, well, the one with the Pentium D turns on, the one with the Pentium 4 won't turn on now. So I ended up getting them both for $10, plus an old compact laptop that, well, that's pretty much trash, but it was free. Anyway, I've narrowed it down to this power supply, and indeed we have, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like 5 bag capacitors in here. I've given this a while to calm down, so I'm hoping that it will work. Try to get some of this dust out of here. This is pretty dirty. Anyway, we have 5 bag caps in here, and we are going to attempt to replace them. I've got a jar of random old caps that I've saved out of stuff because I'm not buying new ones for this thing. And I don't know if I mentioned that one. I get that's probably the one that's causing it not to work, and these don't really matter, but we'll replace them anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and rip it apart, and I'll be back. So upon further investigation, it would appear this power supply was actually made by Lite-On, which is surprising. I've never seen a Lite-On with bad caps. I'm trying to tell what brand caps these are, and I can't really see. Let's see, what are the filters are Elite, although they seem okay. Let's see all the dust on here. And let's see if we can get an arc. Nope, they're good and discharged. So I'm going to pull out all the old ones, which there are, this will focus. You can see one there, two there, one there, and one there, which is the one that I believe is causing our problem, but I'm going to replace all of them that are bad. Really, I should replace every single cap in this power supply, but I'm not going to do that, so we'll just see what happens. Okay, so the gist of this is working with what we have, and this one that went bad here was a 220 microfarad at 35 volts. Well, all I have is this giant one for 100 volts, and I know they don't form correctly or whatever, but that's all I have, and you can see the size difference. I'm going to try to finagle that in there. Hopefully it'll work. If not, I guess I'll have to put like a 470 or something in and hope that it works. But I think this might fit. I might be able to get it to fit at least. Okay, I've done about all I'm going to do. Here are the caps that are in. I replaced that one. The big one simply wouldn't fit, so this one's like a few volts less. I replaced this one. It's kind of loose. I replaced that one, and that one. I left these two. They're bloated, but they're simply not coming out of there. They're glued way down there, and I can't reach in there to get them. So those two are staying. But here's the bad ones. We had a 680 at 16 volts, which I replaced with a 1000 microfarads. So once again, if that's adding to the probably not going to work factor. That one I had an exact replacement for. That's a 2200 at 16. This one here is a 220 microfarad, and this one here is a 3300 microfarad, which I did indeed have. I also replaced this one, which is a 10 volt at 2200 microfarad, which was right next to that one, same exact brand. So I figured I'd go ahead and bump that up to a 20 volt. So that's that. I'm going to put it back together. We'll plug it in, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully it don't burn. Okay, so I got the power cord plugged in. Now another thing I forgot to mention, the traces on the circuit board for this thing, they suck. They lift up very easily. Anyway, let's see if it crashes, burns, or does nothing. I'm pretty sure that I connected everything right back, but I might have crossed some stuff. Okay. The lights dimmed like it came on, and then it stopped. So that sounds good. We'll take it back in and put it in the computer and see what it does. Okay, one more test. I got it crossed. Let's see if it comes on. It does. Okay, it's running. Of course, it's not under load, but that's a good indicator. Okay, so here's the computer. It's actually a GX 280. And I've got it hooked up. Let's just plug the power in and see if it crashes, burns, or maybe works. Okay. Oh my god, I think it's working. It is working. Okay. I don't know how much I trust this, but for now, it's working. Of course, the CMOS battery's dead and everything. Let's just, for the hell of it, boot it in and see if it boots into anything. The other one had been wiped to a fresh copy of XP, but it had no drivers or anything installed. It was that's a GX 520. Looks like this one might have the same. Of course, it's not going to run a rec mice now, USB mice. That power supply's working though. Whoa. Okay, yeah, nothing's installed, so I have to get the drivers. But, come on. Go away. It does have 2 gigs of RAM, 2.8 gigahertz, Pentium 4. I wonder if I could put a hyper-threading in there. I don't think this is hyper-threading. Yeah, no drivers installed. Now go away. No, I don't think this is hyper-threading. Anyway, it does seem to be working, which is strange enough, but... Oh, it is hyper-threading, okay. So it's a 2.8 hyper-threading Pentium 4. That's not bad. Anyway, I didn't really expect this to work. I was going to probably just, I don't know, get a new power supply, but hey, I'm not going to complain. Anyway, here's that.